Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video, and today we'll be talking about and doing our predictions of AEW All In. And I'm glad that I've done this video today because I forgot that there was a Continental Cup and everything. So now we know that it's going to be Jon Moxley versus Nigel McGuinness in, the Continental Cup finals. But as always, if you like my videos and everything, just appreciate it, and maybe if you want to, give it a like and subscribe, because that would be gladly appreciated, and just join the fun. But without further ado, let's get into the multi-man trios tag team match predictions, or whatever it's called. But let's just get into the predictions. But first off, as we said before, it's going to be the multi-trios tag team match, basically an open challenge for the trios tag team championships, or not tag team, but trios championships. Hangman Adam Page and Bandito and Brody King versus TBA. I haven't really been watching AEW like that, but if I had to guess, it probably would be like Swerve Strickland and the New Day. I don't know why I said whatever they're called, but if I had to guess, it would probably be that. And then I think that they would probably join Swerve and everything, the New Day, and then they'll become the trio of tag team champions. I don't know why I keep on putting tag team in it. It's trios. But I don't know about this match. That is my predictions of it. And I think that Swerve Strickland and the New Day, which is the TBA. Well, if I'm just being honest, even if it's not them, I'm just going to go with TBA. Which, for a bonus point, I'll just say it's going to be Swerve Strickland versus the New Day. But if TBA wins, I basically get the point. It could be anybody. But let's get into the next match, and that next match is the champion Kyle Fletcher versus Konosuke Takeshita versus Kazuchika Okada for the international champion, a three-way match. This is pretty fun, if I'm being honest, simply because there's some Don Callis family heat into it, and also some older Don Callis family heat into it. I just think that they should have had Kyle Fletcher maybe win this match at All In instead of kind of rushing in and, giving the win to Takeshita. But I think it is Kyle Fletcher's moment, and I think he wins this by probably beating Okada or pinning him. And Takeshita has him down or something. I don't know. Something like that is going to happen because they're going to end up breaking them up. So, yeah, let's get to the next match. And the next match is Kevin Knight versus Darby Allin for the TNT Championship. And I'm noticing this is a Falls Count Anywhere match. I meant the TNT Championship. I've said, World Championship or something. But this is Falls Count Anywhere. It's pretty good for, the TNT Championship, especially from, all the years that they've been on All In. 2025, I forgot the match, if I'm being honest. But it was yeah, I do remember it, actually. Dustin Rhodes won the title at All In. And that's how you know this title has just leveled up in that time. So that's why, this is just such a fun match. But if I'm being honest, Kevin Knight should win, and I think that they're going to do a title unification. I think they should have done the title unification, this pay-per-view. If I'm being honest, I think they should have done Kyle Fletcher versus Kevin Knight. But, I guess you have to finish their feud first before you do that. But I'm just saying that they're going to be retaining because I don't see the reason why Darby needs the TNT title right now. Darby's really done everything now that he can really do in AEW, except maybe win the international or national title. He's already done win the world championship. That could be something interesting that he could do. But I think they should just give Kevin Knight the win, because they should really lean into that feud to where maybe at Wrestle Dream or All In or something, to where there's going to be, Kyle Fletcher versus Kevin Knight title unification, to where, Kyle Fletcher wins or something like that, or the Don Callis family gets involved and chooses Kevin Knight, and, Kyle Fletcher turns face again, and Kevin Knight turns, extra heel. That's something also interesting that I think probably will end up happening. There's just so much things that can happen in between then, and I think Kevin Knight winning this match and Kyle Fletcher winning his match is also going to be the way that, we get that and we get to there. So that's why I'm going Kevin Knight for this, and let's get into the next match. Now, the next match is the Divine Dominion, Megan Bayne and Lena Cross versus the Brawling Birds, Alex Windsor and Jamie Hayter. If I'm being honest, the Divine Dominion's reign has been going on for pretty long, and I've saw pretty much all of the reign, but it's just kind of been, maybe it's just me, it's kind of just been boring to me, but, maybe that is just me. I would really like to see the Brawling Birds get the win, and I mean, if they don't get the win here, when are they going to ever get the win? Because they've been doing this on, like, Collision, Dynamite sometimes. It's just, this feud has been going on since, like, May 2 or something. I don't know. It's just, a lot of stuff that's going on in this division, and if I'm being honest, if they don't have the Brawling Birds win this match, the division's cooked. So that's why I'm going with the Brawling Birds in this match to win the tag team champions, or the women's tag team championships, to win that title. And let's get into the next match. Now, getting into the next match, we have Jon Moxley versus Nigel McGuinness, which is going to be the Continental Cup Finals, which this is kind of like, I think it was supposed to be a ripoff of, like, the World Cup, or I don't know, really. I don't know how they came up with the Continental Cup, but if I'm being honest, I haven't really watched most of the Continental Cup. It's been, like, bits and pieces, and from what Google Gemini told me yesterday, Claudio won this match, so I really wasn't interested in it. But now, knowing that Jon Moxley won it, and it's going to be Jon Moxley versus Nigel McGuinness, if I'm being honest, I would have rather saw Jon Moxley versus Kyle O'Reilly just continue that feud. I am kind of a Kyle O'Reilly fan, and I think Nigel McGuinness winning the title would kind of not be good, in my opinion. So I hope that Jon Moxley wins this match, and I think that he's going to win this, unless if, Claudio turns heel or something and the Death Riders turn heel on him, but I can't really see that happening, especially at, well, I don't know, it could happen. I'm just say that's a potential thing that can happen, but I really wouldn't want to see it at this stage. Maybe have them turn on Mox at, like, World's End or something when the actual Continental Classic happens, or at All In next year. Pretty good, that would be pretty good in my opinion. So, just for this, I'm going to have Jon Moxley beat Nigel McGuinness, and that is my official prediction. But let's get into the next match. And the next match is Andrade El Idolo versus MJF versus Tommaso Ciampa, Chris Jericho versus Mark Davis versus other participants. If I'm being honest, I haven't really studied this match like that. I really wouldn't want to see MJF win it 2 years in a row. I don't really know who's going to win this match. Andrade, yeah, he already has the title. Chris Jericho, no, heck no. Tommaso Ciampa, it's kind of iffy with Ciampa. Mark Davis, no, I wouldn't want to see that. It's really just leaning on who is going to return in this match, and there's a couple people who I guess could be on the horizon of returning. But if I'm being honest, I'm kind of leaning on the idea that Adam Cole will return. I don't know why, I don't know how, but I think Adam Cole might return in this match, and Adam Cole might win after a year of, everything that's happened, and, he might get an AEW title shot or something, with this Casino Gauntlet, match, or whatever it's called. But if I'm being honest, I don't think Adam Cole is the logistical option, but he is one of the returns that I could see. If I had to pick somebody in this, I probably would pick Andrade. I'm gonna just be honest, because MJF wouldn't be the best fitting, and because he literally just won it last year. But Andrade, he is a pretty good fit, so I think Andrade, he would fit the category. So Andrade would probably win this in a real world. But if we're living in a fantasy world, and maybe even a real world, hopefully Adam Cole will return and win the title. And, win the Casino Gauntlet Battle Royal and win the title at, like, World's End or something. So, let's move on to the next match. And then the next match is Paige and Coke Kristen Cage and Adam Copeland, or better known as Kristen and Edge, are facing the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, for the tag team titles. If I'm being honest, if the New Day doesn't return in the TBA match, in the first match that I talked about, I think that the New Day will return in this match. If I'm right, I mean, if I'm wrong about the trios match, I do think that they're really going to return in this match. I think that, if I'm being honest, I think that the Young Bucks are going to win because Hangman's going to join the Bucks or something, and then they're going to have a little feud between, somehow or another it's going to happen. Maybe, Kenny joins the Bucks or something, and then it's a trio with Swerve Strickland and the New Day are facing the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega for all the gold and everything. That could potentially be a pretty good match too, because we would automatically see a title change in that match either way. So I could see that happening. So I'm going to just go with the Young Bucks to win this match. If it's not the Young Bucks, I generally don't know why they will keep it on Cage and Cope, because, really, it's time for them to just retire. I'm sorry, but, they was good in the 2000s, but, I mean, it's 2026. I mean, they can still wrestle, but why choose them? And at this point, why even choose the Young Bucks? Because, the Young Bucks, they're going to be leaving out of the company soon and everything like that. So, really, why are we doing this match, AEW? I really got to ask that question. And I'm sorry for all the ums and everything. I'm probably going to have to cut all that out because there was a lot of ums because I was just thinking about it. Maybe I'll need to write a script when I'm doing these videos. But I do try and keep it legit and everything, and just try and have my genuine reaction as everything comes on. But let's get into the next match. And the next match is Willow Nightingale versus Mercedes Moné. This match, to me, kind of feels like it was kind of rushed, and it was rushed into it to have a different title and to maybe have Mercedes beat her. But I'm gonna just state the obvious at this point. Britt Baker might come back, especially after she posts that on her X account or something. And the last person that she fought, or at least that I can remember, at All In 2024 was Mercedes, and Mercedes beat her. So what better way to do that than to get revenge on Mercedes and then have Willow, win this match? And I think that's probably what will happen. So Willow Nightingale, I think she will win this match and just continue to be a good champion. And I think Mercedes will get it one day, but I think they're going to move her into a feud with Britt Baker if all of this stays the same and comes true. And moving on to the big match of them all, the main event. Hopefully, it probably is going to be the main event. I don't even know. I'm saying probably it is going to be the main event. And if it's not, AEW's out of their mind. Kenny Omega versus Will Ospreay for the AEW World Championship. A few months back, I was thinking Will Ospreay was going to win this match. But a few weeks ago, I was like, man, what better way to establish Kenny Omega as a heel than have him beat Will Ospreay in front of his hometown and just have Will Ospreay keep on chasing it. But now, looking back at it, it's really a now or never thing, because if they don't do it now, Will Ospreay is not going to have the hype on him that he has on him now, and he had then, really, if I'm being honest. He should have won it then. But if I'm being honest, it's a now or never thing. But this is Kenny Omega's last time as being in the company, as being really a top superstar in anything. But I think Kenny Omega, at the end of the day, he will drop the title, even if Tony Khan says, Kenny Omega, you're winning this match. Kenny Omega will say, give Will Ospreay the win. And that's why I'm going with Will Ospreay to win it in his hometown, winning the AEW World Champion, what he's been trying to do for about 2 years now. And this will be not even a better way, or I don't even know what I'm saying, but this will be the best way that he can get the title ever, because he just came off the back of probably one of, at least in my opinion, the greatest match of all time in AEW history. So, if I'm being honest, Will Ospreay, there's nobody better than him in this company right now. And, you know, that match with Swerve Strickland, like I said, was probably the greatest match of all time. And then getting dropped by the Death Riders, the pay-per-view after, and then facing the Young Bucks. It's been like a low and a high and a low and a high. And I think this is going to be the highest that they can get because he's going to win the AEW World Championship. But let me know your predictions in the comments below. You know, any shockers, anything. You can even put who you want to see return in the trios match, or if there's going to be any debuts or anything, or if there's going to be any debuts or returns in the Casino Gauntlet match. You know, put those all in the comments below. Make sure to like and subscribe and comment and everything. If you're a real supporter, then, you know, do all that, and, you know, comment your favorite wrestler or something. I don't know, but I am out. Peace.